Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a first look at an upcoming premium French tank destroyer, the SFAC 105. And as you can probably see from this image, yeah, it's got two barrels. This tank is looking like it's going to be the first French double-barreled tank in the game. At the minute, the only double-barreled tanks we have in the game are the PS-54, the American World of Tanks Plus tank, and then the rest of them are Russian Soviet tanks. So, it's looking like we're going to be getting a French one, and it looks pretty interesting. So, here are its Supertest statistics. Let's have a look. 390 Alpha. That's kind of nice. Kind of pretty average, you'd say, for a Tier 8 tank destroyer. But 390 is always pretty nice. Decent penetration values. 270 millimeters standard APCR. 320 millimeters gold heat. That's pretty nice. I always like heat on tank destroyers because its penetration doesn't drop off over range, and APCR standard is always nice, especially when it has great shell velocity like this one does. 1400. Yeah, that's pretty nice. That is, for a standard APCR, that's really, really comfy. Reload time is going to be 10.5 seconds for each barrel. So this is going to give it a DPM of 2,228, which is pretty okay. Not the best, not the worst, kind of average. But remember, it has two barrels, so it does have the potential to do two 390 alpha shots simultaneously, giving you a double barrel potential of 780, which is pretty nice, not going to lie to you. Gun handling, 1.7 seconds aim time is really comfy. That's like really good, especially for tier 8 TDs. That's really nice. However, dispersion, there we go. That's a weak point, 0.42. Yeah, this tank has kind of got everything so far to be set up to snipe. However, its dispersion is not going to particularly facilitate that. Yeah, 0.42 is going to be really struggling beyond 200 meters, 250 meters. You are going to feel really inaccurate, and you are for sure going to want to be running an improved aiming module on this tank, possibly even vents. I believe, however, you obviously can't run the vents because it is an open top tank, so that is also going to be a limiting factor. Gun depression, -8 degrees. That's actually kind of quite nice, and as you can kind of see from the imagery, it looks like the gun is independent of the turret, allowing it to kind of go up and down. And I believe, and I'll see if I can find an image and quickly just slice it into the video here, this tank has the ability to make its guns go almost completely vertical. As you can see, its gun elevation angle being 60 degrees, so almost like an artillery. So I'll have a look and see if I can find that image and splice it in here. If not, whatever. Ammo capacity 40, average, nothing special there. Mobility, however, it kind of follows the stereotypical Frenchness of being pretty quick at running away. Sorry, Frenchies, had to make the joke. 60 forwards, 20 in reverse is really nice. You're going to be quick to position, quick to run away as well. The ability that French tanks must have. Survivability, low hit points, 1100. Definitely not going to be wanting to take too many shots in this tank. And as you can see, armor, yeah, you're definitely not wanting to take shots in this tank. 40, yeah. 30, yeah. HE magnet this tank will be. However, when you look at this armor and its HP and its speed, and then have a look at its dispersion, yeah, we're starting to see an issue here. This tank is very much going to have to snipe, but it hasn't got the dispersion to be able to snipe very well. So this tank is looking, and remember, these are all Supertest statistics, they could be changed, subject to change. It's looking like it's going to be a difficult tank to play in the sense that it's going to be pretty painful to play to snipe, but you don't have the ability to kind of do anything but snipe. Obviously, the double barrel does allow it to kind of be semi-aggressive, peek a corner, double barrel, full back, but you don't have the HP to particularly trade very well, so you can only do that once, twice, maximum 3 times a game. And you are going to be a HE magnet. You know, if this thing comes out and I see it on the battlefield playing aggressively, I'm just loading HE and I'm going to enjoy my extra damage. So that's going to be something to bear in mind. Concealment 19 is pretty good stationary. Remember, it's a French tank. They tend to have pretty good concealment values. Bang average moving 11.57. However, view range, another thing to consider, is 360mm is not good. Definitely not going to be able to spot with itself, and because it's open class, can't run vents, not really going to be able to improve that much without taking optics, which I feel you kind of can't do on this tank. You know, maybe there's an opportunity to run an improved aiming rammer optics setup on a map like Prokhorovka, but I feel like there's just better pieces of equipment. So let's compare this tank then to another double-barreled TD that is in the game, the ISU 122-2. This is a Soviet double-barreled tank destroyer that came out as part of the black market auction kind of event that we normally get towards the start of each year, normally February, March time. Yeah, this tank got released through that. So, DPM, pretty similar. The SFAC having 2,228, the ISU having 2,440. Yeah, pretty similar. Alphas, identical, 390, 390. Dispersion, yeah, you can see the difference here. The ISU having 0.35, which is still not particularly great on that tank. It's Soviet with 0.35 dispersion. It feels pretty derpy at mid to long range, but the SFAC would be even worse, having, you know, 7 entire worse dispersion, which is going to be really, really, really tough. The aim time, however, for the SFAC is nice. 1.7 is really good compared to 1.92 for the ISU, which once again is still pretty good. 1.7 is just even better. Mobility, the SFAC is winning hard here. 60 forward compared to 40 forward for the ISU. 60 is just very French, very quick getting to and from a position. ISU kind of feels a little bit more lumbering, and there is an argument to run a turbo on that tank. 20 for both tanks in reverse, pretty standard. The SFAC is winning in terms of gun depression, 8 compared to 5 for the ISU. 8 is really comfy. You will be able to work some bridge lines, but you don't particularly have the armor, so do bear that in mind. HP, yeah, SFAC is losing hard here, 1,100 compared to the 1,300 for the ISU. ISU, however, does have some armor, so it has the HP to be able to play that slightly more aggressive role, which the SFAC can't because it doesn't have the armor. And it's just going to be a HE magnet. View range, 10 less, 360 for the SFAC compared to 370 for the ISU. Both are pretty poor, can't really spot for themselves. Penetration, this is interesting. The SFAC is going to have really quite nice penetration values. 270 standard is pretty good. It's not bad. It's not the best, don't get me wrong, but 270 APCR with that good shell velocity is going to be good compared to the ISU's 258mm AP. But the heat is where the SFAC is doing really quite nicely. 320 heat at tier 8 on a TD is nice. However, the ISU does still have 300, which is still pretty good for a tier 8 TD. So you can kind of see here that how the ISU plays. The ISU kind of plays similarly to a double-barreled heavy tank, but trades less. It kind of plays a little bit more passive in like that kind of role. However, the SFAC is going to kind of be forced to try and play that role because of its poor dispersion. Don't get me wrong, it will be able to snipe the SFAC. So can the ISU. But it is definitely not going to be good at it beyond 200, 250mm, because that dispersion is just going to completely troll you. So you are going to kind of have to find a comfortable mid-ground at trying to play this tank in a pseudo-aggressive way without the armor, without the HP to do so. So I feel it in its current state, it is going to be a particularly difficult tank to play, but it's interesting, and I like the fact that we're seeing a new type of tank, French double-barreled. This is new. Maybe, just maybe, this is signifying a future tech tree. Obviously, we've just had the Czechoslovakian light tanks released in update 1.26 in September. We don't particularly know what's coming after. Do we get another tech tree this year? You know, in the roadmap earlier on this year, right at the start of the year in January, they did say 3 tech trees in 2024. We've had the Czechoslovakian lights most recently. At the start of summer, we had the Bliskowicka, the tier 10, we had the Polish TD line. Have we got a future French double-barreled TD line coming? God knows. Who knows? Maybe this tank could just be like the Supertest, a random addition, a Czechoslovakian TD, one which we don't have any inkling of coming in the future. Maybe this will be similar, but we're yet to know. We are yet to know. But do let me know down in the comments what you think. Do you think this tank is signifying a future line? Does it look good? Maybe we see it as part of some loot boxes sometime soon. Who knows? But if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!